Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is March 17th, 2021. I'm making this video over because there's a lot of things that I missed in the last video that I definitely want to mention in this video, because just in case this video gets a lot of views from new people, I want you guys to really know everything about this ritual. So the story is that the former Mavericks center Shawn Bradley supposedly got involved in a bicycle accident back on January 20th that left him paralyzed. And they're reporting this story now on March 17th, even though this happened all the way on January 20th. But this is the headline that came out. Mavs issue statement on behalf of former center Shawn Bradley. The former NBA center, number 2 overall pick in 1993, suffered his injury on January 20th, 2021 while riding his bike. So the story, it's simple. He was riding his bicycle near his home in Utah, and he got struck by a vehicle that left him paralyzed. Right? So that's pretty much the overall story of it, right? What I mentioned in my other video is why I believe that his upcoming death is going to be connected to this story. And there's a couple of reasons why I believe this. But first, let's go through everything again. And I want to point out the things that I missed in my last video that I had to delete, because I definitely want to point out everything that I've noticed. So that way, if there's any new people here, you guys can finally wake up to what's really going on in the world. How all these mainstream celebrities are eventually ritualistically sacrificed. So I want to predict this man's death in this video. So that way when it happens, there will be no question that this is exactly what's going on. Because how else would I be able to do this? You know, back when the actor Dustin Diamond got hospitalized with cancer, we called his death at the age of 44. And that's going to be a big number in this ritual as well, the number 44. Because Mr. Shawn Bradley, who played for the Mavericks, he wore the number 44 for the Mavericks. Right? But the first thing is this. So today, March 17th, the date of the news, today is the 76th day of the year. And Shawn Bradley, even though he wasn't a talented basketball player, the one thing he was remembered for was being tall. He was the tallest basketball player, I think, of all time. I don't think there's ever been a basketball player taller than Shawn Bradley. And he was drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers. Think about that. The 7'6" center, drafted by the 76ers. And then he also wore the number 76 for that franchise. But the story is coming out on March 17th, the 76th day of the year, even though it happened on January 20th. Just think about that. Why did they wait so long to report this? But notice in the language of Gematria, bike accident sums to 76, just like skull and bones. You know, I'm going to get into why skull and bones matter. Michael Jordan also sums to 76. And that matters because this is also connected to the movie Space Jam, which had Shawn Bradley in it. And there's an upcoming Space Jam film coming out this year as well, which is also connected to this ritual. But Michael Jordan 76, like bike accident, like skull and bones. And those of you familiar with skull and bones, they identify by the number 322. And just notice what day Shawn Bradley was born. He was born on March 22nd, 322, like how skull and bones identifies by that number. And the day he was born can also be written 22/3, like 223. 223 is the 48th prime. He's 48 years old. So he suffers this accident while he's 48. And he's turning 49 just 5 days from now, right? And I think that's going to be his age of death. Because he spent most of his career playing for the Mavericks, and Dallas equals 49. Just like Revelation. But the accident happened on January 20th, 62 days before his birthday, and sacrifice equals 62. And think about who's the owner of the Mavericks. It's Mark Cuban, who was born on July 31st and is 62 years old as well at the moment. Something else. I think the day that the accident happened, it happened on a day with 62 numerology. I just want to make sure. It did. So the accident happened on the day with 62 numerology, 62 days before Shawn Bradley's upcoming birthday, while the owner of the Mavericks is 62 years old, Mark Cuban. So those are, stuff that I left out in the other video that I definitely want to point out on this one. So the day that it happened, 20/1, like 201, number that connects to the Jesuits and also connects to coronavirus. And the film Space Jam, the original film, the Space Jam Part 1, featuring Michael Jordan and Shawn Bradley, it had everything to do with coronavirus, right? In that movie, you guys remember, the aliens were stealing the players' talents, but nobody knew exactly what was going on. So the NBA suspended the season because they thought everybody was sick. And in the movie, the players were even wearing masks. Funny, right? Like how people are wearing masks today because of the coronavirus. And then last year on March 11th, the NBA was really suspended because of the coronavirus. And think about the reason last year the NBA was suspended. It was because of a Utah Jazz player, a center, Rudy Gobert, on the 71st day of the year. And Rudy Gobert is 7'1". Supposedly he was the first NBA player to contract coronavirus, so that's why they canceled the season last year. So all these things that I'm pointing out now, these are the things that I left out in my other video, which are very important. Because think about it. This accident involving Shawn Bradley happened in Utah. And last year, the pandemic was declared, well, I guess the NBA season, but the NBA was declared on March 11th, the same day that the NBA season was suspended. But the reason that the NBA season was suspended it was because of a Utah Jazz player, a center. It's crazy how all this stuff is just connected, right? But going back to Mark Cuban, he was born July 31st, and this story's coming out. Well, the accident happened 193 days before his birthday. And that's the 44th prime number. Shawn Bradley has a player water number 44, but the word kill sums to 44. And they waited 56 days to report this news. Of course, that's a big number with the Jesuits, right? Society of Jesus is 56. Coronavirus is 56. But that upcoming Space Jam film, it comes out on July 16th. Actually comes out while the NBA Finals are going to be going on, coincidentally. But from today to the upcoming film, from the upcoming sequel to Space Jam, it's 121 days. So this story is coming out 121 days before the release of the Space Jam film. And Blood Sacrifice comes to 121. Right? And this is Shawn Bradley here in the Space Jam movie, the original film, featuring Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan is a big part of this ritual. Because not only does his name sums to 76, but this story is coming out 28 days after his birthday. And notice it happened 28 days before Michael Jordan's birthday. He was born February 17th. And the accident happened on January 20th, 28 days before Michael Jordan's 58th birthday. And today is 28 days since his birthday. And the word kill, not only is it 44, but it's also 28. And of course, today is the 17th of the month. Like Jordan was born the 17th of the month. So 56 days, they wait 56 days to report this stuff. And I looked up the release date of Space Jam. Some sources say it came out in 96. Others say in 97. The year really doesn't matter. Now, the date does matter. Because just notice how the movie came out on March 11th. And the pandemic last year was declared on March 11th. And if you saw the film, you should go back to it and watch the film. Because there's a scene in there where they show this clip where the monsters supposedly live. They live in Moron Mountain. And the planet actually looks like the coronavirus germ. Moron Mountain. Everybody who believes in coronavirus should live on Moron Mountain because that's exactly what you are. You're a moron. And that's what the movie's trying to tell us. I also found this image interesting, how they have the 33s on top of their heads like that. Oh my god. Whoever did that artwork is really trying to communicate something to people. But yeah, I'm looking at it now. I don't know if these are the actual cartoons from the film, but that's definitely a 33 on their head, on the top of their head. That's definitely a 33. And one more thing I want to point out, right? So the term paralyzed, it sums to 45 forwards and backwards. And I want to show you guys something. You see, Shawn Bradley as a player, these are the numbers that he used to wear. He wore the number 44 as a Maverick, right? This happened 193 days before Mark Cuban's birthday, the 44th prime. He was drafted by the 76ers. He wore the number 76, the 7'6" center. Then he was coming out on the 76th day of the year. But he also wore the number 45 for the Nets. Not sure if you guys saw the other video that I did where I pointed out how I think that the Monstars are this year's New Jersey Nets. Not the Brooklyn Nets. Right? Because think about who the Brooklyn Nets have this year. They have, and just look, man, okay, I want to show you guys something, right? If you look at the Monstars, they really look like the Brooklyn Nets of this year, right? They have the tall, slinky one, which looks like Kevin Durant. And then you got the one that can really handle the ball good, which is Kyrie Irving. And you got the one that dunks the ball with aggression, which is Blake Griffin. And then you got the other one that is big and bulgy, like James Harden. And all this is happening while the Space Jam movie is coming out this year. And speaking of 56, remember what the 56 NBA season, the two teams that played that year, it was the Nets versus the Lakers. And Barclays Center sums to 56. And the NBA Finals this year starts on the day with 56 numerology. And if LeBron wins the championship, he'll be 5-6. So all these things that I'm mentioning now, I didn't mention before because I went back and I did some more research because I think there's a deeper riddle with all this. There's a deeper riddle, especially it has a lot to do with LeBron James. But just want to make sure I don't leave anything else out, right? So the NBA Finals this year starts on 7/8. Oh, look at that. Perfect. See, this is what I mean. Every time, that's why I didn't want to end the video because I'll just find more and more things. This is happening 113 days before the start of the NBA Finals. That number again, 11/3, like March 11th. But the National Basketball Association sums to 113, just like Kobe Bryant, just like Michael Jordan. That's also the number of deception. So this story could all be fake. It probably is fake, but doesn't matter. It's still a ritual by the numbers. And they are trying to communicate something to us through the numbers. Philadelphia, the hometown of Kobe Bryant. 113 days before the start of the NBA Finals. And remember who else has the 113 connection? The head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, Steve Nash. His name sums to 113. And just think about who joined the Brooklyn Nets on 1/13. It was James Harden. Funny, Steve Nash is also 49, right? Here we are talking about Dallas. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Steve Nash played with Shawn Bradley. Let me see something. I think they did play. They played with each other. Yeah. Okay. So this is all making sense now. Yeah. They used to be teammates, Steve Nash and Shawn Bradley. It's all making sense now. Yeah, because Mr. LeBron James could become 5-6. Barclays Center is 56. This has happened 113 days before the start of the NBA Finals. Steve Nash is 113. This is what I mean. Every time when I ended the video, I just started thinking about all this stuff. I'm like, man, this stuff is just making more sense to me. So this is why I wanted to come back live and just point all this stuff out. But yeah, Shawn Bradley wore the number 44. You know, that faithful number, 44. And then Steve Nash wore the number 13. Man. Now I'm not sure what are they trying to tell us. Are they trying to tell us that because there's different riddles here, because he was drafted by the 76ers. The 76ers this year could go to the NBA Finals, but I'm convinced that it's the Brooklyn Nets. That's who I got going to represent the Eastern Conference against LeBron James. But he was born on 22/3/2223 Philadelphia 223. So just think about it. He was born on 22/3 and then he gets drafted by Philadelphia. And just to show you guys that this is definitely a Jesuit ritual, I mean, look what it says up here. Bradley, a devout member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, spent 2 years performing missionary work in Australia after his freshman year in Brigham Young University. Following his mission, Bradley was drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers as the number 2 pick in the 1993 NBA draft. But he spent the majority of his career with the Dallas Mavericks. So just want to make sure that I pointed out everything, all the things that matter at least. Yeah, I think I got it all. Yeah, this looks like another Brooklyn Nets ritual. Another Brooklyn Net indication that they're gonna represent the Eastern Conference. The guy who used to play with Steve Nash. Steve Nash, the current head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. So I want to go to the chat, see if I missed anything, because I definitely want to point everything out in this video. And that's a good point. Sage Cyril says that today 317 is an upside down lie. 317 is also the 66 prime number. And think about that number, right? 66. LeBron James, right? LeBron is 66. LeBron James is 66. Lakers 66. So LeBron is 66. LeBron James is 66. And then Lakers is 66. Yep. Yeah, Daniel's saying that he could be a sacrifice for the Philadelphia 76ers to be in the upcoming finals. That's a possibility. This coming on the 76th day of the year, 113 days before the finals. But I just don't see the Philadelphia 76ers beating a healthy Brooklyn Nets franchise. I don't see it. And then just going back to that 56 NBA season, it just makes so much sense. Hey, how you doing, Kathy? I haven't seen Kathy in a while. Hopefully everything is good, Kathy. So yeah, so I think I nailed it all. But shout out to the 24 people watching the video, or at least the 24 people that got notified. The other 3,000 people didn't probably hear about this video. But yeah, so whenever Shawn, like I mentioned in the other video, whenever Shawn Bradley dies, his death is gonna be connected to this accident. And just the term accident, remember what that sums to in Gematria? Sums to one. Sums to 157, like how Kobe Bryant died on his 157th day of his age. Accident also sums to 49. Whoa. Just like Dallas, right? Dallas is 49. And Dallas is also 113. Yeah, I remember because they won the game on March 11 when the pandemic was declared. The Dallas Mavericks won with 113 points. Oh, my God. And Dallas is also 13 and 41 and 41 to 13 prime, going back to Steve Nash. So, yeah, I think this is pointing at the Brooklyn Nets being in the NBA Finals. I like the connection to Steve Nash. Yep. So shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. See you guys a little bit later on.